Hi, today we're speaking about the Bestech 710B testing panel. We're really proud of this panel. It's come from 10 years of development, having the 710A out in the field for over 10 years now. The 710B, we've got over 100 of these being tested at the moment and being used by students, apprentices and industry. We changed a few things from the 710B to the 710B when the wiring standards changed and a new training package came out. So maybe we'll start first with a bit of a tour around what's on the panel. If you look at some features on the 710B panel. It's interesting. What we've done is we've looked at the range statement required for L0039 and we've made sure that we've got at least those features required for that, as well as some other features that can be used through other competencies all the way through the training package. You can see here we've got 3 lighting circuits. Not only have we got 3 lighting circuits, we've got different fittings and we've got 2-way and 3-way switching arrangements. So that can be used for teaching switching testing methods. We've got 2 power circuits running off the main switchboard, as you can see here. When we're doing the testing on the main switchboard though, you can also easily take the front of the switchboard off to get access to all the internal components. Wiring comes down from the top here, where we've got the incoming mains down through the switchboard. And then some of the other features are we've got an earth stake, an air conditioning 3-phase unit, a fire pump. So the fire pump's a safety service and that's got its own isolation switch up the top here. The switch can also be locked on, so that's something required on a safety service. So that's the pump connection. On the pump you'll see a little earth screw that can be simulating, instead of having a pump here, we can say that the earth screw is for the housing of the pump and we can test whether that's earthed properly. We've got a hot water service with an isolation switch, and once again we simulate the casing of the hot water service with a screw instead of having to need a whole hot water service with this. We've got an equal potential bond and we've got a range circuit here. Is your L0039 or G105A or capstone panel compliant? When we look at the range statement, there's a number of things that it states. We need at least 2 lighting circuits, at least 2 power circuits, 3-phase, a safety service, sub-mains, or an alternative energy source instead of a safety circuit. Future-proofing this panel, we've not only included a safety circuit, but a 3-phase, extra low voltage 3-phase connection and an alternative energy source. When we connect extra low voltage 3-phase to the panel, we can simulate 3-phase coming through the fire pump. So you can see it and isolate it through the fire pump. We can also take one of the extra low voltage phases, put it through the alternative energy supply, which we call solar, and you can isolate, prove that it's isolated by seeing the power and isolating that off the panel. Okay, now you're seeing the left-hand side of the panel. You've got the touchscreen here that can move around. So this doesn't have to actually sit on the side, on the front. It's got almost 180 degree swivel on this. So really, if you want to have this mounted from the back and put the bolts in, you can. The other thing I'd like to mention is it's 80mm wide here, plus the front equipment on the front. So it's very slimline. All the electronics are combined in the back here. And this is where you can see the extra low voltage 3-phase input. So you've got the 3 phases, the neutral, the earth, and the independent earth fault here. In normal operation, you would sign into this and log in with an admin password so students can't come along and change things. And you can set your faults in here and walk away and have it unlocked, so you can't do anything with the panel. Not only can you use the touchscreen, if you've got multiple boards in your student classroom, we can actually link all boards together to a central PC via the Wi-Fi network, and we can fault each individual panel from the Wi-Fi network. If you've got high security and you don't want it connected to Wi-Fi, it's completely independent of that. Or if you want the ability to move and change faults in different panels, we can handle that as well, and both can work together. The other thing with this touchscreen and the controller in the inside of this is it all runs off 12-volt power. So we can put a battery pack under here and we can have this running off mains, completely battery operated and portable. The next thing I'd like to show you is actually what's on the back of the panel. It's quite interesting. Wow, the interesting back panel, eh? There's nothing here. That's right. All the panel needs is power supply from the left-hand side. You've got the touchscreen on the back, on the side there, and the panel can be wall mounted. It can be mounted on this frame that we make up. We've got a bench mounted frame. We could do back to back. We've got a number of customers that want to save on space and put these panels back to back on each other. So you can really save a lot of space in your workshop or your area by mounting them on the wall so no one can steal them, which is coming up in a few cases, or mounting them back to back. We've got 48 faults on this panel. There's 5 categories: short circuits and interconnected circuits, earth faults, fault loop impedance, polarity, and insulation resistance faults. We've got 48 individual faults of these, so there's at least 6 or 7 of each of these types of faults, maybe even up to 10. We also have an independent earth fault. So don't just think of this as a capstone panel or an L0039 panel. This can be used right through the training package. We've even had customers say that they use this on day one to show prospective students what's going on with an installation, right up until the last day when they're doing that capstone assessment. Okay, after we log into our software, we've got 2 options, either to log out or to go into teaching. So let's put it in teaching mode right now. In teaching mode, this is how easy it is to put faults on. You've got a description of all the faults on the screen. So it's very easy. You don't need an extra manual to look at this. All on the screen, and we can select multiple faults. So you can just see now how many polarity faults we have. If we go into fault selection, now you can see the different types of faults we're putting in. So we've got installation resistance, for example. We've got shorts and interconnecting circuits. Select one of those. And now, if you want to see what faults we've actually selected, you can go to panel view. And now, if you look closely, all these orange triangles are showing you what fault is applied where. So you can actually reset this fault from here, or you can see what it is. How easy is that to use? So let's cancel out of there and you've got the panel view. You can go down to fault selection, or in some cases what you might want to do is a custom fault creation. So in a custom fault creation, there's a lot of faults selected in these. You can select on for this custom fault sequence, and all the faults here are listed within the panel. So if we go back to panel view now you can see there's a whole range of different faults listed along the panel. And just in case your student or yourself is having a bit of trouble, you can come along here, move the panel out of the way, select the fault, and actually see what fault that is. Very easy to use. So this custom fault creation, if we go back into custom fault creation, we can easily clear all those faults. We've got options for 10 different fault sequences here. We are not limiting you for fault sequences of all our 48 faults. You can select some for teaching throughout the year. You can select some for your capstone assessment at the end. It's entirely up to you. So we'll actually add a fault sequence in here. We'll add fault sequence number 4. This is freely addable, by the way. And we can even put a description in saying test 2, whatever you like. Once we put that in, we can go into the panel view. And we can even zoom into this. So if you're a little bit like me and need some glasses, you can actually zoom into where these are, and you can place this on the screen and you can really make it easy to read. So that's one thing we get asked a lot by instructors is, does this board, or is this board protected against crossover faults? So when you put one fault in and another fault, sometimes make a third fault. And yes, we do have that, because that can happen in real life. And if you want to teach that to your students, you can add these faults into the panel, or you can keep them separated. We want to keep that open because we've just had as many people saying, can we do it, as we have, are they protected from it? So we really want to try and make this panel as well, good as you can see, as if it was in the real world. Another thing that we're actually wanting to show you on the panel is all the switches and all the componentry on the panel is as good as we can get. It's all Clipsal where we can do it. It's either NHP, it's Hagar where things have to be, but it's all as good a quality as we can get on the panel. We've had a 710A panel in the field for about 10 years, and I saw it a few weeks ago and it looks as good as when we supplied the panel on day one. Everything is bolted together. We've had it shipped to Darwin, we've had it shipped to Western Australia, we've had it shipped to Northern Queensland, and everything is held together with a couple of minor things that need to be tweaked. The screen is a tough decal that doesn't scratch. The aluminium is screwed together extremely well. The panel is solid. Everything's made to last a lifetime. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed it and it's given you enough explanation on what the panel is. I think we've shown you how easy it is to mount, we've shown you how easy it is to use, and we've demonstrated, and you can research yourself on how it matches with the range statement. If you want to see one of these panels in person, please contact us and one of our guys will come out and show you in person and you can feel just how good it is.